What's the deal? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Train G's with G. This video is going to be on Google. The reason why I want to cover this company, it's slept on. You could rarely find a YouTuber that covers Google, and it's baffling because YouTube actually is owned by Google. It's one of the many products that Google has. Over here is a quick little list right over here. So you can see the YouTube logo right here, very recognizable. I'm building my YouTube channel up because I want to get paid by Google. You see Google Chrome over here, Google Android, Google Plus, Google Search, just a search engine we use. Gmail, all of us pretty much use these Google things, Google Home. So Google is one of the biggest companies in the world. It's number 5 in the United States at pretty much 2 trillion as of time recording. It's May 3rd. Get rid of those foreign companies. So yeah, Google was founded in the late 90s and 98, I believe. And it went public in 04. Ever since then, it's just been taking off. This right here is a daily chart. I'm going to go to monthly chart real quick just to show y'all how far this company has climbed. And I be trying to tell people, we have been screwed with the education system. We should be investing in these companies as children, better yet, young adults. But anyways, this company debuted in August of 2004 at around 2040 cents. And there's been stock splits in the history. I'm going to go over that real quick because pretty much with this video, I'm going to cover the daily chart and go over some of the most recent news going on with the company. It's mind blowing, I tell you. But yeah, I'm going to go over this chart in a minute. So for most of y'all that don't know, this company has 2 different classes, and Alphabet Inc., as we all know, is Google's parent company. And of course, all of those products I showed you is a product of Google. So there's 3 different classes of stock that you can that exist, which are A, B, and C. A and C are the only tradable ones, and I'm gonna go over that specifically real quick and easy. So Class A is pretty much, the difference is because you can vote 1 per share. So if you're in the voting, every quarter or every so often when earnings come out, you're gonna be interested in having full rights in the company as a stock shareholder. You're going to go for A. B, this is for the private people. This is for the people who own it, the CEO, the CFO, etc. All the private shareholders, they have a bigger stake. As you can see, 10 votes per share, while we the people only get 1. Reminds me of the election. And Class C is very similar to A. It's tradable, but it's totally different because you have no voting rights. So if you're not interested in voting for the company's future or any potential ideas, then you're just going to buy a C stock, a Class C stock. Class A stocks if you want full control, and B is owned by the billionaire 1%ers, as I just explained. So to be honest, this company is greedy. I'm gonna get right to the point little by little. Let me start with their dividends. I told you they made a debut in 04, right? They went public. The IPO came out August 04, right? They just now started paying dividends for their shareholders. So in 2024, last year, you get 20 cents per share. That's a slap in the face because they literally are worth $2 trillion. Like, you know what I'm saying? But this is what these tech companies do. They're smart. I can't knock the hustle. They're going to keep all the money for themselves. They're not going to pay their shareholders what they deserve. And look, next month in June, you had to buy this stock before June 9th. The ex-dividend date means you have to purchase the stock and hold after if you want to have any dividends returned to you, which will be on June 16th. So that's how it goes with dividend stocks. I would say personally, it's never too late to get in, but this stock is, worth 100 and change. So they also pay dividends. Both classes A and C pay the same dividends. So don't get confused. They both pay dividends. Just that A has the voting right and C doesn't. I would honestly consider getting a QQQ ETF or a SPY ETF if you're interested in investing in Google, because Google is a part of NASDAQ. And with that being said, I'm going to say my disclaimer. Listen to the dreadheaded trader with a grain of black salt. Do your own due diligence. Be your own DD. Be your own designated driver. Anything that I say you cannot trust 100%. Know I have your best interest, and I always keep it 100. All right, so I'm going to the daily chart. And for those of you that do options, this doesn't really move like that. It does, but it's not the most volatile volatile NASDAQ stock out there. Their earnings just hit last Thursday, April 24th, and they hit on their revenue. Quick little review on it. So they're estimated to make 89 billion. They end up making 90 billion. So they made an extra billion more than expected. That's what surprised us for. And as for their earnings per share, aka EPS, they're estimated to be at $2.02. They're at a whopping $2.81 per share. So yeah, they're doing their thing. They're up. They're up actually like 78 cents on the EPS. Okay, so any of y'all that do day trading and swing trading, as you know, this is what I do. And over here, I see a falling wedge. Ever since last earnings in February the 4th, it's been tanking. Why? Because the revenue didn't hit. They missed out on an expected $200 million reported. So instead of 9.6 billion, they got 96 billion. They end up reporting 96.4 billion. So despite the EPS being good by just 3 cents, doesn't matter. People started selling and panicking. These two trend lines I drew right here, it's been downhilling for the last 2 months, and this is how a falling wedge is. See where the big cursor is? So it's been bouncing back and forth, and recently with this green arrow, it's been catapulting out. And I already said my disclaimer, but anytime you're trading, you want to do a call if it ever pops out of this trend line in this type of downtrend falling wedge. I didn't cover it. I didn't grab it. I didn't hop on top. Why? Because I don't really trade this, but I'm looking to. I'm starting to swing trade. I've been doing that since April last month. But anyways, if you look at this right here, it boomed up with earnings in the after hours, and then it tanked down the next day, and it's been going down as of Tuesday, and Wednesday it bounced this trend line. It tested this trend line to go back down to this wedge. It rejected it. In the last 3 days, you see 3 consecutive hammers. That's very bullish. In some cases, a hammer could be, a reversal signal. But in this case, it looks like it's going to go up. Anything can happen with the tariffs going on and all these rumors in the market of us being taxed even more. So you can only literally take this advice with a grain of salt and just reading the charts. You never know what can happen. All right, so I'm gonna get into the controversial things with this company. About 3 weeks ago, this came out April 11th. Google lays off hundreds of employees in Android, Pixel teams, the information reports. And we all know why these tech companies are laying off their employees. They're budgeting prior to the tariffs. They just simply are not interested in paying people. I mean, they have the Android team. You know, them robots are gonna come in at some point. Nvidia and Tesla, they're all building these robots, right? So right over here it says the cuts in division, which houses the Android platform, Pixel phones, and the Chrome browser, along other applications, following Google's January buyout offers to employees in the unit, the report says. So they're offering severance packages. Right down here. I don't know where it is. Where is the severance package? So all right, I'm just gonna explain. I can't find it. So the severance package, they're gonna pay their employees up to 14 weeks of pay while they're laid off. So 14 weeks is only 3.5 months, and they're gonna give them like an additional week for full time work. So 15 weeks of pay. What the hell are you supposed to do if you don't have a backup job? Let alone these employees didn't even know they're getting fired. Most of them didn't, and the ones that had a severance package. Say you take the deal. What are you gonna do in 3.5 months afterwards? You have to pay your bills, right? California's crazy. It's a Bay Area company. It don't matter if you have a college degree. You apply for a job here, they'll lay you off, man. What do you do if you don't have no savings in your account, or you barely have any? Or what if you don't have any investments? No stocks, no crypto to sell as a final resort to cover your bills. You're going to be screwed out here. You're either moving back home to mom and dad, or you're going to be out on the streets. So it's just messed up how they're doing this with these job layoffs, with all this money that they have. But and they're showing their true colors. No pun intended. Over here, this happened last year. So a bunch of Middle Eastern Google employees, the Palestinian and Muslim employees, were all fired last year, and it's crazy because they're participating in a day of action type of protest in two of his campuses. One's in New York City, and the other one's in the Bay, Sun Valley, California, or Sunnyvale, however you say that. And it's prejudice, and also it's anti-climatic, anti-Semitic, whatever that religious word is. Yeah, it's like they're showing their true colors, and this was last year, and most of y'all know that Google in February they took off Black History Month from Google Calendar, as well as Pride Month, which is next month in June. So me being a black person, that's pretty jacked up, man. But allegedly they still have Juneteenth as a holiday, and they know that's like a holiday that's barely been publicized since 2020. So that's probably why they kept it, because it's not popular enough. But this company's showing their true colors, the anti-DEI with Trump. They don't support DEI anymore, and that's why they got rid of these Middle Eastern employees. It's messed up, man. But this is what happens. I just advise y'all, if you're gonna invest in Google, just know what's coming with it. None of these stocks are safe. It's a gamble. It's a safe investment if you hold stocks. If you do options, like I said, I'm gonna see how the market's looking Monday. Personally, this thing could come back down below 162.50. The next line of resistance will be around 170. I'm gonna let y'all, just kind of let that sink in, that this company doesn't want to hire nobody outside their race for the most part. Certain religion they don't go for. It's just like Walmart and Target. But anyways, I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. Until next time, this your boy, Train G's with G. I'm out.